Intermediate Algebra for College Students, Part 1. In this video, we'll see operations with a square root, exponent polynomials, where we'll add, subtract, multiply, and divide, Pythagorean theorem, equation of lines, where we'll see slope-intercept form, x and the y-intercept, slope and graph. Let's make this correction. Okay, so this is a list of perfect squares. So the first 10 perfect squares are over here. So 1 is a perfect square, 4 is a perfect square, 9 is a perfect square, 16 is a perfect square. So when you take a counting number, you multiply by itself, you get a perfect square. If I take a 1 multiplied by 1, which is 1 square, which is almost a 1, is a perfect square. If I take a 7 is not a perfect square, but if I multiply 7 by 7, which is same as a 7 to the second power, which is a 49. Yes, 49 is a perfect square. So if I take a 100 is a perfect square because 100 is from 10 multiplied by itself, 10 multiplied by 10. Okay, and so we could also find the square root of a perfect square. So if I want to find square root of a 4, this will be 2. Why? Because I know that square root of a 4 is same as square root of 2 multiplied by square root of 2. So that is what? A regular 2. So the rule is that every time I want to find the square root of a perfect square, the question is this: what number multiplied by itself give me that perfect square? I want to find square root of 81. To find square root of 81, my question is this: what number multiplied by itself give me 81? That number is 9. Therefore, square root of 81 will be regular 9. But understand that square root of 81 is same as square root of a 9 multiplied by square root of a 9. And that gives you a regular 9. 9 without the square root. Okay, so understood. If you understand this concept, now we can go to the practice part. So here, the key for the question that we're going to break it down. Having set 7 square root of 24 minus 3 square root of 6. To simplify, we're going to break it down the square root of 24. So this is same as 7 multiplied by square root of 6 multiplied by square root of 4, okay, minus 3 square root of 6. You have to understand that 24 is not a perfect square. So I cannot find square root of 24 as a regular number. That's why we need to break it down. We can break it down using different numbers. But here it's going to be helpful if we use the square root of 6, because in the question we have another square root of 6 here, which will be helpful. Now we know that square root of 4 is a regular 2. So this is 7 multiplied by that regular 2 multiplied by square root of 6 minus 3 square root of 6. Okay, this will be 14 square root of 6 minus 3 square root of 6. So we have a left term square root of 6 square root of 6. We're going to combine the 14 and negative 3. And 14 minus 3 is what? 11. So we're going to have 11 square root of 6. Therefore, the best choice here is C. Let's do another one. We have here square root of 9 plus square root of 250. So the thing is this: we're going to break it down. Again, this is the key. Break it down. Okay, but if you see the 4 choices, 2 of them have radical 10, radical 10. Okay, even we have a D It's not radical 10, but we see 10, 10. So this can give us an idea that, okay, probably they use a 10 in the numbers when they break it down. So I can think like I have a square root of 9 multiplied by square root of 10, because 9 is same as 9 multiplied by 10, plus square root of 25 multiplied by square root of 10. Every time you see a number end with a 0, that means that number comes from what? 10 multiplied by another number. So 9 is the same as 9 multiplied by 10. 250 is the same as 25 multiplied by 10. And doing this, you see that square root of 9 and the square root of 25 will be regular numbers, because 9 is the perfect square. So you have a 3 square root of 10 plus 5 square root of 10. And here again, we have a dialectal square root of 10 square root of 10. Okay, what we need to do is to add 3 to 5, which is 8 square root of 10. Therefore, the best choice here is E. Okay, continue. Distribute will be the keyword here. Distribute. Okay, so having square root of 5 multiplied by this is a multiplication because we have a bracket. Square root of 15 plus square root of 5. So we're going to distribute square root of 5 to square root of 15, and at the same time to square root of 5. So this is telling that we're going to take a square root of 5. We multiply by square root of 15 plus the same square root of 5 outside. We'll multiply this by the other square root of 5 inside. Okay, now understand that we have a square root of 5, but this square root of 15, I can write it also as another square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 3 plus square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 5. Okay, the reason I break it down the square root of 15 is that will help me to find a regular number from this 2 square root of 5, and I have again another square root of 5 multiplied by itself. So this is what? Regular 5 square root of 3 plus 5, and that's it. That's it. Okay, a quick reminder. You see here for the perfect square, every time you see square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 5, we know that this is going to be square root of 25, which is same as a regular 5. So to save a few seconds, instead of writing square root of 25 before get a regular 5, I can write it regular 5 directly from square root of 5 multiplied by another square root of 5. Okay, that's what I did here. So when you have 5 record 3 plus 5, or 5 square root of 3 plus 5, please don't add the 5 to 3 or whatever. So it's just the final answer. And here, the best choice is D, as a dog. Okay, so you have 5 square root of 3 plus 5. We continue. Okay, again, the keyword here is to distribute. So it's similar to the previous question. That means you're going to take this square root of 5 multiplied by the square root of 3 and do the same thing on the side. So I'm going to have square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 3 plus the same square root of 5 multiplied this time by square root of 5. Okay, so here the two numbers are different. I don't have a choice. I have to multiply 5 by 3 to get square root of 15. I cannot, simplify this because it's not a perfect square, and I cannot break it down as a perfect square multiplied by a number. But the other side, that will change to regular 5. Again, every time we see square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 5, that gives you regular 5. So we have here the best choice as D. 5 plus square root of 15 is same as a square root of 15 plus 5. We continue. So break it down and cross out. So this is the key word here. We have a square root of 7 multiplied by square root of 42 divided by square root of 3. You have to understand that from the 4 choices, there is no choice as a division. That means what? Probably there is another square root of a 3 on top. That's why the radical 3 or the square root of 3 were cancelled. For that, we'll take square root of a 7, but the square root of 42, we're going to break it down as a what? Okay, we're going to take square root of a 3, because the question is, if the square root of a 3 is cancelled with another square root of 3 in the numerator, okay, the question is, what number multiplied by 3 give me 42? Or I could do, what is 42 divided by 3? So that give me what? 14. Okay, so I know that if I multiply 3 by 14, I get 42. Okay, so we divide everything by square root of 3. Now, do you see that square root of 3 square root of 3 cancel? Okay, and do you see that we have square root of 7 left here? The square root of 14, I can break it down as square root of 4, the 7, multiplied by square root of 2. Let's explain it. This square root of 14, I break it down square root of 4, 7 multiplied by square root of 2. The reason I do that is what? There is a square root of 7 here. So if I found another square root of 7 multiplied together, this will change it to a regular 7. And that regular 7 multiplied by square root of 2 is the final answer. So we have a 7 square root of 2. And here, the best choice is D. We continue. So here, again, we break it down and cross out. So we're going to do the same thing, like we did it previously. So we have a square root of 7. The square root of 21, I will break it down as another square root of 7 and the square root of 3. Everything divided by square root of 3. Understand that square root of 21 is same as square root of 7 multiplied by square root of 3. And the reason I do like that will help me to cross out square root of 3. And what left? Square root of 7, square root of 7, and this is regular 7. Wow. The best choice here is D. Okay. Now, we'll do exponential question, but we need this property. So every time you see a number or variable raised to negative power, you have to know that you could flip it. So to change the power to positive, so that gives you 1 over 3 to the third power, because we are using here 3 to the negative 3. So that changed to 1 over 3 to the third power, which is 1 over 27. Because 3 to the third power is not a 9. 3 to the third power means 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. And if you multiply 3 by 3 by 3, you'll repeat this 3 times, that gives you what? 27. Okay, we have a quotient rule. So when you have x to the 12, for example, divided by x to the 5th, okay, you will subtract the powers. So for division, we subtract the powers. Okay, so that gives you 12 minus 5, which is 7. But for product, we add the powers. You see, this is just a quick review. Now, if you have a inside power and outside power, we multiply the powers. Okay, and when you see a variable or a number, raised to 0 power, or expression raised to 0 power, this gives you, okay, 1. Now, let's see this. We have a negative 14, a to the fifth, b to the 6th, and the negative 2, a to the 4th, b to the 2nd power. So we'll do the division between numbers, division between a, and the division between b's. Okay, so negative 14 divided by negative 2 give you what? Positive 7. Now, 8 divided by A4, that will be A8 minus 4. And for B8, we're going to have B6 minus 2. So this gives you 7A4, B4. Therefore, the best choice here is what? 7A4, B4. Okay, let's see a similar question. Again, we're going to apply the exponent properly. Okay, so W, we have a W3 divided by W2 divided 3, so this W3 will cancel out. Yeah, even if you apply the property of exponent, you're going to have W3 minus 3, and 3 minus 3 is 0, and W to the 0 power is 1. Okay, what I'm saying is, if you take a W into 3 minus 3, the top power minus the bottom power, you have a W to the 0 power, which is 1. Okay, now what about the x part? We have x, okay, 6 divided by x negative 4. So if we take the top power 6 minus, okay, minus what? Negative 4. So the formula is that you have the top power minus the bottom power. Okay, but the thing is this, the top power is 6 and the bottom power is negative 4. So you have a negative, okay, so you have a 2 negative, which will change to positive. Therefore, we have a x to the 10th power. Okay, also remember, every time you have an expression with a negative power in the denominator to change it to positive power, you move it to the top. Okay, so if you move it to the top, that will be x to the 6th power multiplied by x to the 4th power, and that time that will be positive. And if you use the product rule, which is going to be x6 plus 4, and you get the same x10. Okay, so therefore, the best choice here is what? A. We continue. So here, again, we're going to apply the exponent, properly. So the top, we have x, 5, x to the 5th power, multiplied by x to the 7th power, divided by, so the bottom, we're going to use the property, let's see here, the property when we have here, this property here, this property. So power inside multiplied by power outside. So therefore, we're going to have bottom x to the 6th power. 6 came from 3 multiplied by 2. But remember, the top is same as x to the 12th, the bottom x6. The reason it's 12 is that we add 5 to 7. Okay, and now at this step, we have x 12 minus 6. And the answer is x to the 6th power. Okay, the best choice here is B. Yeah. Again, apply these exponent properties. So in this case, you have to understand that the 3 outside, that means what? You're going to take a 3, you raise to the 3rd power, you take x squared, you raise to the 3rd power, I can put this also in parentheses, and you take y4, you raise to 3rd power. So this is 27 x 6 y 12. We continue. So this is distribute property. Okay, and for distribute property, again, you have to understand that this is negative sign we distribute. So we have 5x to the 2nd power. This is a polynomial to add. 5x to the 2nd power minus 7x plus 9 plus where the plus came from. So this negative sign we distribute to negative 2x. So we have plus 2x to the 2nd power plus 3x minus 2. Okay, so you have to understand that negative sign will change the negative 2x squared to positive 2x squared. The same negative sign will change the negative 3x to positive 3x. The same negative sign, it will change the positive 2 to negative 2. So every time you have a negative sign in front of a parenthesis, like we have it here, that negative sign will change the sign of all the expressions in the parentheses. Okay, at this step, we're going to combine like terms. So we have a 5x squared and the 2x squared are like terms because they have x squared in common. You have a negative 7x. We take away for the sign. Negative 7x and the positive 3x are like terms because they have x in common. And also we have a 9. We have to use a different color. We have a 9 and negative 2 also as like terms. We combine like terms, we have 7x to the second power minus 4x plus 7. So 7x to the second power minus 4x plus 7. Best choice here is B. Okay, we continue. We have a similar question here. So we do the same thing. We're going to distribute this negative sign here to everything inside this bracket. Therefore, we have 6x squared plus 7x minus 3 plus 2x squared minus 4x plus 5. Okay, we combine like terms. This gives you 8x to the second power plus 3x plus 2. And if we check here, our best choice is B. Yeah, 8x squared plus 3x plus 2. The next question, this time is a multiplication, between polynomials. And yes, we're going to distribute. So how we do that? We take a 2x, we multiply by x squared, give it 2x to the third power. Yes, when we multiply x by x squared, we added the powers. Remember, exponents, properties. So 2x multiplied now by 4x give you 8x to the second power. The same 2x multiplied this time by negative 6 give you negative 12x. After that, we'll do multiplication between negative 5 and the x squared. It has to be negative 5, not the 5, but negative 5. So negative 5 multiplied by x squared give you what? Negative 5x squared. Negative 5 multiplied by positive 4x give you negative 20x. Okay, the same negative 5 this time multiplied by negative 6 give you positive 30. Negative multiplied by negative positive. Okay, and we're gonna combine like terms. So we have a 2x to the third power. This is alone. There is no other expression with x to the third power. But we see this, the next one, okay, as a like term. So 8x squared minus 5x squared here give you what? Positive 3x squared. After that, we have this also as a like term. A negative 12x minus 20x give you negative 32x plus 30. Okay, so let's see which one here is the correct choice. We have a 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 32x. So that is it. I will check 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 32x plus 30. Okay, similar question is this one. So again, we're going to distribute. So therefore, we're going to have all these 3. So 3x to the third power minus 18x squared plus 12x. Okay, after that, we do this one here. Negative 5, we have to take the 5 with the negative sign. Negative 5 multiplied by x squared is negative 5x squared. Negative 5 multiplied by negative 6 is positive 30x. And negative 5 multiplied by positive 4, negative 20. You see the way I align this, so with a like term, so we have this together to combine. Okay, I have this alone. Okay, and the first one also alone. That means what? I will have a 3x to the third power minus 23x squared plus 42x minus 20. Okay, let's see which one is the best choice here. We have a 3x to the third power minus 23x squared plus 42x minus 20. Okay. Okay. So we continue. This time is a division. And the key there is a split and apply exponential property. Wow. So we're going to split this fraction in 3 different fractions. It means what? I will have a 30x9 divided by negative 2x to the 5th power plus 8x to the 7th power divided by negative 2x to the 5th minus 2x to the 5th power divided by negative 2x to the 5th power. Yeah, common mistake which you have to avoid. People just say, oh, okay, this and this cross out. Yeah, and they will forget that cross out here means you're going to have 1 because you divide something by itself. You see this and these are the same. You divide something by itself, that give you 1. So you cannot say that if you see 3 divided by 3, you'll say, oh, okay, this and this cross out. So the answer is 0. No, 3 divided by 3 is not a 0. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So you see something divided by itself, cross out here means it's 1. Yes, and that one is very, very important. So therefore, I will say that A will never be the correct choice. C will never be the correct choice because I don't see that one there. Okay, but I see 1 for the last one. Yes, so D will be the correct answer. B cannot. Why? Because B instead of a positive 1, they say negative 1. So B also is not. But let's continue. Okay, so having this part, what we'll do is to divide 30 by negative 2, that gives you negative 15. And the x9 divided by x5 means you have a 9 minus 5, which is what? 4. Minus, because positive 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. And x7 divided by x5 means you do x7 minus 5. And 7 minus 5 is 2. Okay, and now plus 1. So yes, the best choice is okay. So let's see the next question. So again, having this, I know that the correct choice will be D. Even I didn't do the operation yet, but it will be D. Why? Because if you see this, if you split in 3 fractions, you're going to have a 5x divided by negative 5x, which will be negative 1. And only choice D has that negative 1. Okay, let's split. We have a 25x3 divided by negative 5x minus 35x to the second power divided by negative 5x plus 5x divided by negative 5x. So here we will say, oh, this and this cross out. But remember, positive divided by negative is negative, so you have a negative 1. And cross out here means you have a 1. Okay, So the positive divided by negative, that's why we have a negative this. Now, this side, okay, so we are doing negative 35 divided by 5, negative 5, it's going to be positive 7 with x. Why? Because we have an x to the second power. This x here has invisible 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1, which is just x. Okay, and this side you have 25 divided by negative 5. That gives you negative 5 with x to the second power. Again, this x here has invisible 1, and the 3 minus 1 is 2. Therefore, like we said it, the correct choice is C. Okay. Now, we continue. This is a triangle. So we're going to use Pythagorean theorem as the key information here. And what is that theorem? They say a square plus b square equals c square. The c is the hypotenuse, it is the longest side. How to recognize that hypotenuse? If when you have the right triangle, just make an arrow from that right angle, pointing, the side directly on in front of that right angle. So here, x, which is the side I highlight in yellow, is the hypotenuse. And that hypotenuse is always C. So doesn't matter for A and the B, but C always have to be the hypotenuse. So this is telling you that we're going to have a 4 to the second power plus 6 to the second power equals C to the second power, and that C is x to the second power. 4 to the second power, please, is a 4 multiplied by 4, and that gives you 16. 6 to the second power, please, is a 6 multiplied by 6, and this is what? 36 is equal to x squared. Okay, so 16 plus 36 here give you what? 52. With this x to the second power. So you have to understand that the answer is not a 52, because this is x to the second power, but they ask you to find x. So to find x, we're going to take a square root. So x will be square root of 52. And the square root of 52 is not in the choices here. That means what? They break it down. So you have to break it down square root of 52. But the thing is this, can we break it down to 52 as a two numbers multiplied together give 52, where one of the numbers is a perfect square? Yes, we can do that. So we know that 52, so square root of 52 is same as square root of 4 multiplied by square root of 13. And square root of 4 is what? A regular 2. So the answer is 2 square root of 13. 2 square root of 13. The better here is B. We continue. So we have this triangle. Okay. And again, it's a right triangle. We're going to use that particular theorem. This one is a little bit different. Our C is 9. The hypotenuse is this side. So we're going to have 3 to the second power plus x to the second power is equal to 9 to the second power. So 9 plus x to the second power is 81. And here to solve for x, first of all, we're going to subtract 9. Okay, this gone. So we have x squared is equal to 72. Now we need to break it down. To find x, we're going to have x is equal to square root of 72. So look, we need to break it down, this square root of 72. Okay, for that, do you understand or do you know that 72 is same as square root of 36 multiplied by square root of 2? Yes. So that square root of 36 is what? A regular 6. So I have a 6 square root of 2. That's the correct choice. And that is A. Okay. Now let's see the next question. The next question here is this line. It says, which of the following is the graph of the equation? 5x plus 3y equals negative 15. When you have a question like this, try to find x and the y-intercept. So x-intercept, to find x-intercept, you have to set y to 0, and you solve for x. To find y-intercept, we set x to 0, and we solve for y. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, so if I set y to 0 to find x-intercept, okay, I do that. If I set y to 0, that means I'm gonna have 5x, okay, plus 0, because 3 multiplied by the y, which is 0, is equal to negative 15. And therefore, I can divide both sides by what? 5 by 5. And I get x equals negative 3. And note that that negative 3 is same as what? Negative 3 comma 0. So my x-intercept, if I want to write it as a point where we have x and the y coordinate, the x coordinate will be negative 3 and the y coordinate is 0. Remember, in the formula I said, to find x-intercept, we set the y to 0, and the yes, always like that. Okay, so we'll see that the graph will have x-intercept negative 3, so the line will cross the x-axis at negative 3. So we'll say that, okay, probably it's gonna be this one, because here the thing crosses, the graph crosses at negative 3. Yeah, and that's the only one. So the best choice here is D. But let's continue. You never know. So let's continue to make sure, okay, everything is correct. So I'm gonna find this time the y-intercept. And to find the y-intercept, I will replace x by 0. And when you replace x by 0, that means what? 5 multiplied by 0 is 0. So I will not have the x part. I'm gonna have 3y is equal to negative 15. I divide both sides by 3. By 3, I get y is equal to negative 5, which is same as 0, comma, negative 5. Remember again the formula. For y-intercept, the x value is always 0. Okay, so which graph here has 0, comma, negative 5 as a y-intercept? Okay, I have this one here. Okay. Even I have also this as negative 5, but the x-intercept is not the same. So I cannot choose C. So I choose D. So D is the best choice. Similar question. So again, here I need x-intercept. So the y will be 0. So I have a negative 3x is equal to 12 divided by negative 3 by negative 3. I have x is equal to negative 4, which is same as negative 4, comma 0. Which graph has here negative 4, comma 0? Okay, I have this. Yes, only this has negative 4, comma 0 as x-intercept. Okay, so the best choice will be C, but again, let's continue, to make sure that everything is correct. So I will find this time the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y line, the point where the line passes through the y line. Okay, so here for the y-intercept, x will be 0. So we're going to have a 4y is equal to 12 divided by 4 divided by 4. Y is equal to 3. And I have 0, comma 3. Remember, y-intercept always has a 0 for the x part. Okay, so if we check this, yes, we have this one here. Even here also we have 0, 3, but the B cannot be the correct answer. Why? Because in B, we don't have the x-intercept as -3. So the best choice is E. Okay. What about this question? Find the equation of the line passes through the point -1, 7 and the 2, -8. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. So the slope-intercept form here is what? Y equals mx plus b. But that m is the slope. M is the slope. And to find the slope, we need to find the slope, that's the first thing to do here. We need the formula. So y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, so I have here -1, 7. I will call this x1, y1. And this side x2, y2. So to find the slope m, I'm going to have y2, which is -8, minus y1, which is 7, divided by x2. x2 here is 2 minus x1. x1 is -1. Because x1 is -1, I put it in parentheses. This is a common mistake also. So the formula has negative sign, which is this. But the slope, the value of x1 is also a negative value. That's why I use the parentheses. So therefore, we're going to have -15 divided by 2 plus 1. So I have -15 divided by 3, and I have -5. To find the y-intercept, which is the b. The b here, this b represents the y-intercept. Okay, so to do that, I need space. So let's take out this. I will use my slope, which is -5. I will plug in the formula y equals ms plus b, and I'm going to replace x and y by one of the given points. Okay, so we have -1, 7. I have a 2 point, I have a 2 point here. I have this point and this point, but I will take the point -1, 7. Yes, you could choose also 2, -8, to solve for b. Doesn't matter which point you choose, but you have to make sure that you use the appropriate x value and appropriate y value. So if I plug in the formula, I'm going to have a 7. That 7 is for the y, is equal to m. M we say -5 multiplied by x. X is -1 plus b. Okay, let's explain it. The 7 here is for y. The m is -5. X is -1 from the given point. And the b is the unknown. So that's all for that b. I have a 7 is equal to 5 plus b. So -5 multiplied by -1 is +5. Therefore, to solve for b, I will subtract a 5 on both sides. So I have a 2 is equal to b. So b is 2. That means what? The equation will be y is equal to -5x plus 2. The best choice here is the first one. Here. So is A. Similar question. So here again, I need to find the slope. So my m will be y2. So I need to label, this to find the mistake. So I have x1, y1. I have x2, y2. So y2 here is -3 minus y1, 3, divided by x2 is 1 minus x1, and x1 is -2. So again, I use a parenthesis. So this will be -6 divided by 3. Remember, every time I have a this, so negative multiplied by negative change to positive, and they have a 1 plus 2, which is 3. We do the division, that gives you what? -2. The slope is -2. So any line equation here with no -2 means will not be the correct choice. So C will not be. Okay, even B, we cannot choose a B. It has to be in between A and the D. So let's find the B, which is the y-intercept. So the B value, we know that we have a y equals mx plus b. Okay, I will choose one point. Again, if I choose this first point, y value for that is 3, equal to the m is -2, multiplied by the x value is -2, plus b. I'm going to solve for b. But understand that this is similar to say, okay, 3, so that's this 3, is equal to positive 4 plus b. Where the 4 came from? -2 multiplied by -2. So to solve for b, I subtract a 4 on both sides. Okay, so I have a -1 is equal to b. So the choice with -1 as a b and the -2 as a slope will be that correct choice, which is the last one here, D. Okay, this question. Find the equation of the vertical line passing through the point. Okay, when they give you a point with a coordinate like here and the axis for vertical line, please just write this: x is equal to the x value of the point, x value of the point. Okay, that is one vertical line. Okay, so here the answer will be x equal, what is the x value of the given point? -5. That's it. Okay, so we have C. Now, what about a horizontal line? Okay, let's see the equation for that horizontal line. What is the question here? Okay. Horizontal line, and this is the given point. So if it's horizontal line, so we're gonna have a y is equal to the y value. Okay, so we have here y is equal to 3. The difference that when they say horizontal, we use y, but when they say vertical, we use x. That's the only difference you have to remember. So y equals 3, the best choice is C. Okay, we continue. So find the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, for this question, you have to rewrite this in slope-intercept form. That's the key. Okay, and to do that, having 6x minus 7y is equal to 35, we'll try to solve for y, which is here to subtract 6x on both sides. Okay, this is gone. I have a -7y is equal to -6x plus 35. Okay, remember, slope intercept form is this: y equals mx plus b. So I need the expression mx, something with x, is not yet the m here, but something with x plus something without x. That's the reason I write the -6x before positive 35. And now I will divide everything here by -7 by -7. Therefore, I'm going to have a y is equal to, because -7 cancel out, -6 divided by -7 will be positive 6 over 7 with the x, and the positive 35 divided by -7 is -5. So the slope is this 6 over 7. The b is -5, but if you want to write it as a point, it has to be 0, -5. Okay, remember, the y-intercept has 0 always as the first coordinate. So here, if we check, we have a 6 over 7 and the 0, -5, this is twice A. Okay, similar question. So again, here having 3x plus 4y is equal to 8, I will subtract 3x. Okay, now I have 4y is equal to -3x plus 8. Okay, divide now by 4. I have a y is equal to -3 over 4 plus x here plus 2. This 2 means 0, 2. That's the y-intercept. Okay, the first one, -3 over 4. And the y-intercept is 0, 2. Okay, what about this one? What is the slope of the line graph here? So here, we're going to use rise over run. To go fast, we use a rise over run for our slope. Okay, so we're going to find 2 points. I can find the first point here and the second point here. So we're going to move from one point to another, but we're going to move vertically and then horizontally. So if I start from blue, okay, moving vertically means I have to move it down. And I have here the point at 4. So if I have to move down to reach the yellow point, which is at 1 here, I have to move 4 units down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units down, and the 4 down means -4. And I want to move 1 unit right. Okay, so right means positive, so +1. So here I have -4. There is another thing you have to understand, which is what? This graph here is going down. So if you see this graph from left to right, it's going down. Okay, so we read the graph like this. Okay, see the graph like this from left to right side, the graph is going down. That means what? It's gonna be a negative slope. That is a hint or a tip you have to understand. Therefore, the best answer is B. Okay. What about someone move from bottom to the top point? Yeah, doesn't matter, the point you choose as your start point. You can get the same answer. Let's see if you have a similar question here. You can try this one here. We have a -5. Okay, I choose a -5, so this point here. And I will choose +3 here. So another person would say, okay, you know what? I want to move from yellow to green. Yes, we could do that. But the thing is this, how many units you move from the yellow point to reach the same level of the green point? You have to move 5 units because it's up 5. So up 5 means +5. Up is positive, down is negative, left is negative, right is positive. And now we move right. We move right, how many units? 3 units. So gonna be +3. Okay, so here we have +5 over 3. And they have to understand something. This graph is going up. From left to right, this graph is going up. So the slope will be positive. And yes, we have +5 over 3. And the best choice here is B, 5 over 3. Okay, we continue. Almost done. So we have factoring, yes, and we have to use a grouping method because we have 4 terms. We group them 2 by 2. Okay, 2 by 2. For that, 45 and the 63. Okay, what is that highest number goes into 45 and the 63? 9. We have a 9 with a common factor, so 9 is C. Okay, parenthesis, we have a 5w. So you know that 9 multiplied by 5, 45. And the c multiplied by w is cw plus. Okay, we have a here 7. Okay, so that 7 will multiply, the 9 to get 63. So you have a 7z. I factor out the blue expression. I factor out the blue expression. So that's why I have 5w plus 7z. Have a negative. We have a 20 and 28. So we can use it here 4 as common factor. So we're going to have 4d parenthesis 5w, because negative 4 multiplied by 5 give you negative 20. Okay, plus 7z. Yeah, remember, negative 4 multiplied by positive 7 give you the negative 28. Okay, at this level, this step, yes, you must get the same factor in the parentheses. And to face this problem, you just put 9c minus 4d in the parentheses, and what they have in common also in parentheses, different parentheses. Okay, but the question here is, which of the following is a factor of a polynomial? So from these two factors, they choose one. So let's see, they say 9c minus 7d, no. 9c plus 4d, no. 5w plus 7z, yes. So this is the correct choice. Okay, the last problem. So which is again factoring by grouping. We take it 2 by 2, we take the first two and the last two. So this is telling you that you're gonna have 5 as a common factor, and the c, okay, inside we have a 3w minus 4z minus, okay, common factor there, we're gonna have a 2d parenthesis, we have 3w minus 4z. You have to understand that at this step, you should have same factor in the parentheses. And yes, that makes sense, because what? Negative 2d multiplied by 3w give you negative 6dw. The same negative 2d multiplied by negative 4z give you what? Positive 8dz. Okay, so to finish the problem, we have a 5c minus 2d in one parenthesis. We have a 3w minus 4z. Okay, nice. And here, we check the 4 choices. We have 5c plus 2d. No. We have a 5c plus 4d. No. 3w minus 4z. Yes. 3w minus 4z. Okay. So, this is the end of the first part of, this practice test. Yeah. Practice makes perfect. So if you watch the video, my suggestion is that before you see how I solve each question, I would like you pause the video, you solve the question, and you check with my solution. Thank you, and see you in our next video. Bye-bye.